I'm a bird, mother. I'm a bird.
Dragon Age the Veilguard director, the Gendermancer, secretly hired for the new D&D game.
No.
We called it right away. Gonna be back. The very first day she quote unquote quit.
What is up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster. And a lot of you may not know this, but I'm actually a big Magic the Gathering player. I've been in that game for going on 30 years now. I'm a blue mage all the way, though my second love is red, because Lightning Bolt is basically the coolest card ever. But anyhow, as a longtime Magic player...
I'm to unsubscribe.
Does that mean his ship is stanky?
I'm well aware of how asinine the people at Wizards of the Coast can be.
Personally, I think you're a idiot.
This company owns some of the most potentially lucrative IPs in the fricking world, and they have run them into the ground in some of the most spectacularly frustrating ways possible. My beloved Magic the Gathering, as an example, has seen new sets printed and printed and printed in the past few years to the point that the game is becoming virtually unrecognizable. In video game terms, imagine that a company kept putting out new DLC for a popular multiplayer game that includes powered-up weapons that you are required to have in order to compete. Now, imagine that the price tag of that DLC is a couple $100 every few months.
Oh, that pisses me off. That pisses me right off.
Yeah, that gives you an idea as to how foolish this company is, but they've sunk to a new low, it seems.
I just don't understand, like, D&D has been beloved for decades. Why on green earth did they decide, like, oh, you know how everyone loves us and companies pay millions to based off on our game? Let's crash and burn it.
Yep.
Rock and roll. Like, I'm sorry, I'm never gonna understand knowing what works and doing the opposite.
I hope you folks are ready to breathe a sigh of relief, though, because it sounds as though the self-described queerosexual Gendermancer...
I still cannot get over that. So we're legit just making stuff up.
To be fair, Gendermancer sounds like something that belongs in D&D.
If they added in D&D, you know it's forever done. The fact that people are so comfortable with just making shit up now and sticking to it is bewildering. That must be fake. It's not fake.
No.
It's not fake.
Corrine Bush, who directed the massive flop Dragon Age the Veilguard, that person has been secretly hired on by Wizards of the Coast. Now,
I don't understand it. It's like, oh, you know how popular we are with all these people? Let's burn it to the ground. And you know what's gonna make it even better? Let's hire the person who tanked the entirety of Dragon Age.
Studio with any kind of common sense would look at a prospective hire like Bush, who left BioWare as a crumbling ruin of its former glory, and they would either do this...
Oh look, an idiot. Let's point and lie.
Or they'd look at this person and quite simply say,
"Not on my watch! Not on my watch!"
But no, it looks as though Corrine was brought on board the brand new AAA game studio that Wizards put together called Skeleton Key Studios to supposedly work on an upcoming Dungeons and Dragons game. Because when people at Wizards of the Coast see someone like the queerosexual Gendermancer walk in the door, their natural response is...
Ooh, I like her.
Meanwhile,
I can't. Get out of here with that.
What the hell?
actual gamers who reject the sort of gender ideological shit that this person forced into Dragon Age the Veilguard, we simply shake our heads.
you will not convince me otherwise. By this point, I do think it's the Illuminati controlled by the lizard people, controlled by the little trolls that always steal your second sock, who came up with this ploy of tanking all these companies to basically make it into a mishmash, monopolize one big branch. You heard it here first.
I think she's been living in the U.S. too long.
It's the only thing that could explain all of this stuff happening.
Heads and say,
Are you stupid or something?
Alright me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also, don't forget to follow me on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster.
Done and done.
But alright, let's see what's going on with this rumor about the head of the major video game catastrophe that was Dragon Age the Veilguard finding a new home at this studio under the Wizards of the Coast umbrella. You would think that these major AAA studios would be at least a little more discerning with their hiring decisions, considering the millions of...
Maybe it's like the whole thing, oh, she's probably desperate, like, we can lowball her. Like, we can literally cut her paycheck by more than half, and she will agree because no one else is gonna hire her. Is that even a possibility?
Dollars that those decisions potentially represent. I mean, after all, we are talking about the director of a game that conservative estimates would suggest lost EA somewhere north of $100 million when the dust will finally settle. Probably a lot more than that, to be honest. But anyhow, this Fandom Pulse Substack article breaks it down. I will be leaving a link in the description of the video for this article if you want to read it yourself. It uses much more direct language than I'm allowed to use on this platform here when discussing Corinne Bush. Anyhow, this Substack from Fandom Pulse says, according to Diversity and Dragons, an inside source at Wizards of the Coast told him the company has hired the infamous game director of Dragon Age the Veilguard, who added extreme LGBT propaganda into the fantasy video game series. And then, if we skip down a ways, it says, the inside source told Diversity and Dragons that Skeleton Key Studios hired Bush to work on a new official Dungeons & Dragons video game. This comes in the wake of D&D Dark Alliance.
Does any of them know how to read the room? People are already ripping D&D a new one with all the changes they're making, and everyone is ripping a new one for her for tanking a really beloved game. And they're like, yeah, let's put those things together. What could possibly go wrong? Like, them working on a D&D game right now and planning to release it is a horrible move. Like, what are the market researchers doing? I don't think they're living on the same planet as we do.
Are they getting their information like 5 years before or something?
It has to be the lizard people.
Getting shut down this month, a game that was worked on by DEI consultants Sweet Baby Inc. It appears as if Wizards of the Coast wants to double down on forcing diversity into video games with a new installment, despite the last one failing for them. Smash JT, a video game expert with inside industry contacts, also confirmed this rumor with a source he verified works at Wizards of the Coast. It's all connected behind the scenes, he told Fandom Pulse when asked about the strange timing of the BioWare layoffs as well as the shutdown of the Sweet Baby Inc. influenced D&D video game. Now, I'm not sure what Smash JT is referring to here because I haven't read his paywalled article that he posted about this subject. Knowing him and his network of insiders, he might be talking about something completely different, but he might, at least in part, be referring to the fact that Skeleton Key Studios is actually being run by one of the Gendermancer's former bosses / colleagues. This article here from Geek Wire gives us some information. It says Renton, Washington-based.
Do people actually buy like the new books? Like, have they released a new book this year? Yeah, there are actual scheduled releases for this year.
Okay.
February 18, July 8th. Oh, they have a lot planned.
It says Renton, Washington-based gaming company Wizards of the Coast opened a new studio in Austin, Texas to create a new high-budget video game. The new studio, Skeleton Key, is headed by Christian Daly, a 30-year veteran of the games industry with experience at THQ, Pandemic, and Electronic Arts. Daly recently left BioWare after a 4-year stint as an executive producer, where he worked primarily on the Dragon Age series of open-ended computer role-playing games, including the forthcoming 4th installment. Daly joins Wizards as a vice president and head of studio for Skeleton Key. And now, if you look at the date that this article was published, you can see that it came out in July of 2022. That means this Daly fellow was at BioWare from 2018 until somewhere in the middle of 2022, and Kareem Bush was made the director of the Veilguard in February of 2022. If you didn't know, oftentimes executive producers are the ones who hire directors, and that's
Isn't that interesting?
Okay.
So the whole thing is just, bring a body to work day, huh?
I guess so.
sort of thing for projects. So it seems that the same jackass who hired the Gendermancer to take over the Veilguard has now hired the Gendermancer to wreak havoc on his new studio. What's also amazing...
Oh my god, it's the Jesse and James of tanking games. God damn it.
Yes.
is how this comes on the heels of a Sweet Baby Inc. D&D game, Dark Alliance, having their servers pulled because nobody wants to play that sort of crap. Now, I know this is kind of an overused trope by now, but many people say that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. It is flat out insane that this guy would bring on Kareem Bush in the wake of the Dragon Age fallout. That being said, he isn't the only one who apparently doesn't think these developers did anything wrong over at BioWare. The head of publishing at Larian Studios just ripped into EA after all the BioWare layoffs. This dude said, on a pirate ship, they tossed the captain overboard, criticizing EA because they wasted a ton of institutional knowledge. Not coincidentally, Larian put out Baldur's Gate 3, another D&D game. It does seem like the whole industry runs cover for one another and that it's all interconnected, particularly...
Well, Larian already announced that before, like, all those public changes, they announced that they're not going to be working with them anymore.
Yeah.
with the...
Hold on. When did they announce it? Okay, it was at the end of March in 2024 where Larian went, okay, Wizard of the Coast, deuces.
Access media acting as shields to hide the failures of all these people. But the thing is, as a space pirate, I feel like I should weigh in on what this dude said about throwing people overboard. If the captain of a ship brings ruin to his crew, the crew has every damn right to mutiny and do something about it. Not that you guys should be getting any ideas here, mind you, but you get my point. The thing is, the institutional knowledge that EA supposedly wasted with these layoffs is the knowledge of how to screw up a damn game so bad that the studio damn near collapses, and that is the knowledge that Wizards of the Coast just brought on board. It is...
I mean, I guess they really looked at it and went, bet. I can fix her.
absolutely insane, though I'm sure the Gendermancer will be a-okay with all the non-binary, misunderstood orcs of peace and...
Yeah, the new orcs.
Yep.
That's crazy.
...tolerance that Wizards has been trying to push on us lately, so maybe this is a good fit. Who knows? But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your
I'm saying it's the lizard people. They're always behind it. It's the lizard people and the little trolls that steal your second sock. Don't even look at me that weirdly. You know I'm right. Check where your socks are right now. I dare you.